Oh, hi everyone. Welcome back to Authortube Read Along. Zack Pieper's The Garden of Lies. I am, in fact, the one, the only, the deranged, the delightfully demented, the delinquent of Authortube, Zack Pieper himself. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Thank you for being here. It's truly a pleasure to have you all aboard. Welcome to my garden. Today, The Garden of Lies, Chapter 6. We have hunting to do. If you like this chapter, all I ask in return for, the free audiobook is you drop a comment, you drop a like, you share the video around, you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me a lot. And if we get this channel to 1.5k subs before I'm done with this book, I'll do the second book. All for your reading or listening enjoyment, rather. Now, I have some pre-workout, which I dry scooped so that I was awake enough to do this because my allergy kicked my ass. So if you'll excuse me, I'll take a quick sip of water.
Except it was not as epic as when you decided to, find out what the flavor of pain was.
All right, let's get going, folks.
Yeah.
The Garden of Lies, Chapter 6. We have hunting to do. Claspin is the first to turn to leave. He grasps Pogs as he passes. I know you won't believe me, but this wasn't your fault, Pogs. Pogs does not acknowledge him, and he walks back to camp. Murday follows shortly after, a hand on the shoulder in passing. Stir is something near offended. It grates on his ideals of honor that his lieutenant threw selection fights. He waits for Kira to walk off and follows without a word or a gesture. Time passes as glaciers shift. The time of the flames is for the dead, but the time of the coals is for the living, to settle matters that pertain to the deceased. It's not unheard of for a few new bodies to need burying after the time of the coals. Pogs turns to leave, but matters remain unsettled. Hold fast, friend. He turns back around, grief and weariness sharing equal space on his face. You can't really think you're to blame for his death, Pogs. His shoulders sag a little more. How can I not? His entire life would have been different if not for my choices that day. I walk around the fire to my friend and sit on the cool ground. Left leg bent, right leg stretched out. I lean back on my hands. When Pogs does not join me, I gesture for him to. You remember when our parents went MIA and NGO talked to us about choices and all outcomes in life being a direct consequence of choices? He nods. Of course. That is why Then you weren't listening very closely, numbskull. I cut him off. His face shifts a little, irritation showing through. I continue. He specifically and at length talked about how other people's choices often affect us, sometimes even overriding or erasing our choices altogether. The fact is, Pogs, sometimes our choice is taken away. It's not even someone's fault all the time. Sometimes that's just how the web weaves. Sure, your choice placed Rybin in Arian's pack, But so many choices after that led us here. Reiben had years of training where he could have resigned from Arian's pack. Sure, he would have had to bear the shame, and sure, he would have lived as an outcast, but he knew what Arian was, so he had an informed choice to make. He chose to stay. Engiel has known. Arian was a cheating slime wad for years, but he has chosen to let him remain in training, despite his lack of honor. Arian is a talented fighter and leader. Also, probably because his dad is old nobility. Then, we have to remember, Arian led him to cheat in this festival. He led him to chase Kira, and he led Reiben into the fight that killed him. And finally, Pogs, it was I who actually killed Reiben. You think you feel bad? I can still taste his blood in my mouth. The first life I take, and it's a shifter from my own village. Pogs has sunk far into gloom. I have been staring at the embers as I speak, finding it easier to order my thoughts without looking at the grief upon my friend's face. It reminds me too much of my own guilt. I turn to look at him now, and pull his forehead down to mine. Our muzzles pass each other on the side. Your choice has been overridden by so many more than the 4 I have just listed. When Magnatoris judges you, Reiben's death will not be on your scale. My stoic friend cannot hold back any longer. My stoic friend cannot hold back any longer, and his silent tears fall onto our muzzles. We stay like that for a few moments more. Parting, I turn and grab his shoulders and look at him in his chocolate hazel amber eyes. You are not to blame, I say one final time before releasing him and turning back to the embers.
God of greatness. Hey!
I love you too, Mason.
Yeah.
We sit quietly for a time. Did you have to kill him? My friend surprises me with the question. I contemplate for a moment. No, I don't think so. At least not in the moment. But who knows? If I had let him live, he may have gotten up and continued attacking us. It might have changed the whole outcome, and it might be us in the ground. I defended my life and my pack. I feel remorse that a life was wasted, but I refuse to carry the guilt of this death. But even as I say the words, I know they are lies. I know I shouldn't feel guilty, but I do. Whether Pogs can tell or not, I am unsure. We sit in the quiet for a time more, until he rises and offers me a hand. Let's go back. We have matters of the living to attend. I look up at my oldest friend and smirk, and I take his hand. As I walk into camp, the eyes of my friends turn to me. They sit around the fire again, roasting more fish. How many did Class manage to catch? I sit down, and he offers me a large spit-roasted catch. He does the same for Pogs. Does anyone have anything else to settle about Reiben before the embers die? Stir looks at Pogs. He contemplates airing his offended sensibilities, and I'm glad when the thought passes and he decides to forgive his friend without a word. I wait another second or two. Good. May he rest in peace. Now, on to matters of the living. Besides what I bandaged up, what are we looking at for injuries? The roll call is informative in a bad way. Murr dislocated 3 fingers on his right hand. He popped them back into the sockets, but he still can't move them. They're probably busted. Stir thinks he fractured his collarbone. The bruise coloring his upper torso supports the theory. Pogs managed to get off with no broken bones, but he's the most ripped up by far. I wish I had materials for stitches. I'm pretty ripped up too. I might be mistaken, but I think Arian's weapon was made with ripjaw teeth. Probably how he planned to cover up our deaths. Make it look like a ripjaw attack. But worse than that, I've had a headache since my head hit that rock. I might have a crack in my brain bucket. I definitely have a concussion. But considering my headache isn't getting worse and I'm still conscious, I am fairly sure I don't have any brain bleeding or damage. I think. I hope. Maybe? I forced myself away from the thought. Okay, gang. Here's the score. We are banged up. Kira's injury makes her more useless than any of us. She scowls at me from across the fire. But damn it, I want that Kara. Pogs did not single-handedly herd the behemoth of the plains just for us to say, fuck it, better luck next year. So, we continue with the plan. My friends share looks between them, questioning my sanity, questioning whether or not to actually vocally question me. Kira beats them to it. No, I won't allow it. You guys have risked your lives for me. You would have easily won if not for Arian's cheating. Once Elder hears what I have to say, he will surely award your pack the victory of the hunt. She's concerned and lets it show. She doesn't bother hiding her emotions. Or, excuse me, I fucked up that delivery. She doesn't bother hiding her emotions much, does she? Kira, I appreciate your concern, but we set out for Carapain, and Carapain we shall eat. But no buts! I shout, cutting her off. You may not be in my pack formally, but while you remain under my protection, eat food my pack has caught for you, and enjoy the safety of our camp, you will not defy my authority. She shrinks a little, and I feel a pang of guilt. I steady myself and take a breath, trying to let empathy back into my voice. I do truly appreciate your concern for us, Kira. But remember who you sit with. We are not your pack, or Arian's pack. The townsfolk think very little of us, or our abilities. Imagine if we return having defeated Arian, and also dragging the Carapain behind us, all with no equipment. We shall live forever in songs and stories that will be the favorites of children for generations. And my friends and I will finally have the respect we as warriors of Three Fang deserve. My friends whisper amongst themselves. Now, apparently, they have not thought about it from that angle. But now they realize it's true. If we pull this off, they could very well earn the rank of direwolves. Pogs grins to himself. He sees how hard I lead my pack. He sees how I motivate them into believing in themselves. They aren't used to people, besides me, placing faith in them. When they realize that could change, when they realize they could earn esteem and glory and be well respected, the mood shifts. They get on the wagon. Kira, being of a sharp wit herself, sees what I have done. I have taken away her momentum and convinced my pack of our course of action. I believe your motives are mostly, if not totally, in keeping us safe. But we are warriors. I am an alpha, trained in the way of the mountain. My lieutenant is Pogsworth Macrophage of the famous phage line, some of the most dangerous shifters on Garden. And although they are not the greatest of warriors, my pack's skills have shown through in the trap they hastily but skillfully built, and the game they caught. I truly believe that we shall prevail. My friends have settled into an air of cautious confidence. I have convinced them. And Kira sees that she has no hope of assuaging us from our plan of action. So we discuss the plan. We adjust for injuries. Pogs briefs us on our query. He describes its injuries so we know how best to play off of them. Claspin and Murday describe the trap in detail so we know exactly where we need to herd the beast. Kira, resigning herself to our madness, agrees to watch camp for us, making sure no other beasts wander into and break our trap. Like any good plan, the devil is in the details, especially with our bodies in the shape they're in. Some of us are too beat up to perform any task other than what we are assigned. Carapace may be beasts, but they are not stupid. They can tell if you're injured. They can see you favor a leg or avoid using an arm. They can definitely see the blood that's going to flow once your wounds inevitably reopen. Against my blonde fur and the silver gray of Mur's fur, especially. So that means we need to trick it. We have to use our wits to make it think we are more of a threat than we truly are, so we can convince it to run into our trap instead of trying to fight its way free. We hammer out final details and lay down for the night around our fire. Gonna catch up with comments real quick. Dirty mouth. What did I say that was dirty?
No.
Yeah. I as I was thinking that line, I was like, "Oh, Mason's gonna feel at home with that one." I'm afraid your finger bones are busted. I mean, that's a legitimate thing. I have had a broken finger, so that happens. Yes. Brain bucket. I like the colorful analogies.
Yes, it is. No, but I think the dirty mouth, it came from still taste the blood of your fallen enemies. You need Oral Fresh. Buy it now at popular online retailers.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Oh god. I'm gonna have to rewatch the stream. There's too many comments to catch up on.
Oh jeez.
But shut the fuck up. I appreciate your concern. But shut the fuck up, girl. Bet, bro. That is exactly the energy, homie.
That's great.
I mean, under my sky, at least.
Right. You'd be like, I am your father.
You're not my real dad.
You're my real dad.
God, we need Mason on the stream just so he can, when Doll just like giving orders, he could just be like, "You're not my real dad."
You're not my real dad.
We hammer out final details and lay down for the night around our fire. Dream world. I see myself crest the hill and see Pogs again, lying down, about to be executed. I howl, but I hear no sound. My pack joins me. Still nothing. As we charge down the hill into what I worried at the time was certain death, I begin to hear something. It's not the wind or the growls of the enemy's challenge. It's not the feet of my pack flying over the tall grass. It's the laughing from before. The laughing of the voice that whispered to me. The laughing grows louder as the fight progresses, until I look upon Ryben, until I feel myself rip out his throat again. The laughter reaches a crescendo and stops as I get up from killing the poor boy. Should have run them all down, I hear echo from somewhere in the distance. Scum! Cheaters! Liars! The lot of them. Honorless, mangy dogs. The voice is furious. How can it be so angry when it laughed so merrily and madly moments ago? I try to ask it, who are you? No sound leaves my lips. The laughter picks up again. I see myself from a distance. The world is utter blackness, but somehow I see myself standing there, turning my head looking for the laughter. My point of view begins approaching my body from the front until I'm face to face with myself. But I could not possibly take this shape. My right side is transformed, but far larger and more bestial than normal, with longer fangs and claws and wolves' ears in place of my own. I even have a tail. And while my left side looks human. Amidst chuckling, the voice calls out, "He wants to know who I am, everybody." There is raucous laughter from all around me, as if from dozens of people. It gets louder and louder until it's a furious thunderstorm against my eardrums. For just a brief second, my point of view returns to my own body, and I look upon the owner of the voice. The figure is human in shape, but with indistinct features like a mannequin. Its right side is black, and its left side is white. The figure grins, then darkness consumes my vision. Fun little fact about that particular dream sequence. When I read my book through during the final stages of publication, I realized that I never described the figure in my dreams, so I went back and added that. I realized I was like halfway through the book and I hadn't described the figure in my dreams. So I was like, I better fix that. I wake up in a cold sweat. It's pre-dawn and my head is killing me. I walk to the water, wading into the shallows, and kneel. I put my hands down and plunge my head into the bitter cold water and shake it slowly, so the water gets past my fur to the skin. I repeat this a few times until the cold of the lake has sunk into my skull, easing the throbbing agony. I gulp down as much water as I can stand before heading back. I place more wood upon the fire and sit staring into it. As the embers do their work, I retreat into the way of the mountain. Not as deep as I can, but deep enough to ignore the headache, the cuts, the bruises. The meditation takes me about a minute. I remember when it took me hours to block out a sprained ankle. How I have grown. Wake up, friends. We have hunting to do, I call out, loud enough to rouse them. One by one, they begin peeling themselves off the ground. Individually, they file off to relieve themselves or drink from the lake. And once we are all ready, we move out. Kira is left behind to groggily watch over camp. We move fast as we are able, most of us limited to running bipedal. Still, we make good time. Shifters heal faster than shamans or humans. Our wounds stay mostly closed. Myrrh can feel his fingers now. They still won't budge. We follow the shoreline for the most part. Pog said he left the beast near the lake about 2 hours north of camp. By the time we arrive, it's not there, but a trail of blood and a strong scent is. Pogs assures us it can't have gotten far with its wounded leg, so we follow. His call was good. We find it limping along, barely moving, a half hour later. I use hand signals to split us up, and the plan begins. We circle wide, cutting it off from both directions. And by the time it realizes it's been boxed in, it's too late. Begrudgingly, it does an about face and picks up the pace. Fear allowing it to ignore its wounded leg enough to run. My pack and I assume a steady gait. We stay far enough away to hide our injuries, but close enough to make sure it knows we are here. Its movements get sluggish as we pursue it. Pogs really set us up for a win with his efforts prior to today. If we pull this off, it will be more thanks to him than any other single person. We pursue it for 4 hours, until finally we have managed to corral it into the section of beach where our trap lies, just east of camp. The beach comes to a point here. The trap is centered in the narrowing channel of land, about 20 feet away from the water line. The mighty animal is now trapped between water and us. Carapain can swim far. They breathe through an opening between their eyes, but they do not swim fast. It knows it can't take to the water to get away. The water would rob it of what offensive capabilities it still has. Without any other option but death, the mighty Carapain, the biggest, strongest herbivore on the planet, turns to fight us. We move forward and take up the long, sharpened pikes Class and Myrrh made for us. We poke and prod the beast back. Just a few more feet, and its hind legs will fall into our trap. It keeps backing up, and I think we have it. And then the energy shifts. In the space of a heartbeat, the Carapain goes from afraid and compliant to enraged. And done with our shit, frankly. It pushes off the ground with its front legs a few feet. And when it crashes back down, the very ground betrays us, and we struggle to stay standing. It doesn't waste the opportunity and charges the smallest of us, Claspin. But unbeknownst to the beast, he is also the only uninjured one. Class throws his pike at the Kara's face, almost hitting an eye, if it hadn't turned its face at the last second. Then, proving he has outgrown his nickname, just as the beast is about to trample him, he jumps 6 feet into the air and, using his claws, digs into the lower face of the Kara. The beast tries to shake him off, but he's holding on for all he's worth. And a lifetime of fishing on top of his warrior training has left him with strong arms. Strong enough to meet this task, at least. The beast is stumbling back and forth. We all have to be very careful as we continue to prod it. One wrong move, one delayed reaction, and we will be knocked down and crushed underfoot. I think we're starting to regain our advantage, and then I see Claspin flying through the air. He hits the surface of the water, skips once, then sinks beneath the waves. The Kara bucks on its hind legs again, trying to stomp Stir flat when it comes down. He makes it out from underneath, but the ground shakes again and my footing betrays me. I slip on loose, sandy gravel and fall to all fours. The Kara must have seen me fall, because it kicks a back leg, and if I hadn't seen it coming and jumped back with the kick, it would have taken my head clean off. As is, I fly 15 feet through the air to join class in the drink. I don't skip. I hit a small rising wave, and my momentum is arrested, snapping my neck to the side at a weird and painful angle. I begin to sink. I probably sink for about 5 feet of water before I realize I need to swim back up. I swim, but my movements are labored. Past the mental shields I have in place, I know my head is absolutely pounding, probably why my vision is foggy. But I retreat deeper into the mountain and ignore it, forcing my body to work as if I was fresh out of bed and well fed. I emerge from the surface of the water and swim towards the shore. I quickly reach the shallows and begin to wade out. Class is also on the beach, but something is wrong. He's holding his head, and blood is running through his fingers. I rush to him and pull his hand away to see a large gash. I see now. He didn't skip on the water like I thought. He hit a rock just below the surface and bounced off. Thank the gods he stayed conscious and swam out. I ask if he can still fight. He nods weakly and tries to stand, but promptly falls on his butt and projectile vomits. Luckily, none of it gets on me. That's okay, bud. You did your part. Get to safety. We got this. I try my very best to take a joking tone to reassure him he is okay, as I point down the shore and use my hand to scoot him along. I turn around, and I don't have time to look for my friends, because the Kara is staring dead at me and begins to charge. I have to lead it away from class, so I run the opposite way, from where he's crawling. Thankfully, it follows me. I'm about to jump out of the way before it tramples me, and I roll to my feet. I face it again as it turns around. I back up and feel something bend underfoot. I know what it is, so I stop, backing up. The carapace looks down on me, 3 feet shorter and about 1/10 its size. It bellows out challenge, the sound windstorms make when they whistle across a wide cave mouth, charges me. I hold my ground. It closes in. I wait till the last second, and then jump to the side. I wait too long, and its charging leg hits my own and sends me spinning through the air. I land in a rolling heap in the gravel and sand of the beach, but I hear what I was hoping to hear, the sound of snapping thick branches. It takes me a minute or two to get my legs to turn from jelly back into bone and muscle, and my gods does my right leg hurt. I think the damn beast came close to breaking my femur. I limp over to the hole in the ground that was covered by large branches, grass, and sand, mixed with the animal's fur and dung to hide the scent of the trap. I stand a foot from the edge, overly cautious to not fall in. The Kara lies dead in the pitfall trap, pikes going through its head, and other major organs, I'm sure. One by one, my allies file over. They had apparently taken cover or else been knocked aside, like leaves in the wind. Pogs helps class limp over, and we all gaze down into the pit, borderline incredulous. We were half dead, knocked senseless, and part of me thinks this was half dumb luck. But damn it, we did it. We bagged the mighty Carapain. Getting the Carapain out of the hole proves to be a mighty pain in the ass. Class and Myrrh lined the bottom with logs, and one side of the trap is a gentle slope, so we're able to roll it out. But it takes every ounce of juice the 5 of us have left, and we rested for an hour before we even started. Once we get it out, we grab Kira and immediately start for home. We only have 2.5 days till the festival ends, but the catch will be rotten before that, so we have to make haste. It's a slow-going process. We push, logs are exposed, stir and class, drag the logs up front and place them in front of the Cara, and we push more. We get a rhythm down and manage to find a pace that keeps us from stopping, albeit a snail's pace. We go like that until we physically can't, which is about an hour past sunset. We all collapse around our catch into sleep, sleeping more or less near each other for warmth and safety. We sleep like rocks until the furious rays of the sun molest our unready eyes. We waste no time in getting up and getting a move on. We can see town in the distance, but it's a few hours away. If we can keep the pace, the meat will still be good. After what seems an eternity of pushing this stinking mass of mossy fur and meat, Kira, whose job it has been to scout ahead and map out our route to avoid bad terrain, announces she sees guards coming out to meet us, which is odd. Usually a procession of townsfolk playing music and singing songs comes out to greet a pack bringing home the Carapain. Why are guards coming out to meet us? I get a sinking feeling in my gut. This can't be good. We keep pushing until they arrive, at which point we file around the beast to meet them. 10 guards in full armor. They waste no time in announcing their purpose. Third pack of the 600th year. You stand accused of sabotage in the Festival of the Hunt and murder of a rival pack member. You will surrender to our authority and be judged by the town council. The Garden of Lies, Chapter 6.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're going to catch up on some comments.
Good.
It looks like the comment section has been at least somewhat busy this stream, which I appreciate. Thank you guys for being here. As always.
Yes.
All right.
Just good.
Wise words. Okay, hang on. Guys, seriously, get him to his goal. That really does. The you said early on, Mason, that really does mean the world to me, man.
That's great.
I really appreciate it.
Yes.
But Pogs is a book character, so he has "this is my fault" syndrome. Or maybe he's just a genuinely good person.
Because they do.
Will rage also. Guys, look, if I don't get to 1.5k subs, you can always buy the second one.
Well, maybe it's just not the same.
Maybe they like my
reading it.
Maybe they like my sexy voice. Oh man. My face when he could straight up jump over my head by a wide margin too. Hard needs a Red Bull fight. Oh dude, you really haven't seen anything yet. So I there's so much good shit coming up, bro. Yes. There really is so much good shit coming up. And you know what's funny? This is not the only time in the series where Dulge uses that trick. the good old Ole. It is. Well, it's one of my favorite tropes. Really, it's one of my favorite combat tropes. The hero psyching out the opponent, and they fucking charge and fucking kill themselves. It's one of my favorite combat tropes. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wise words. Sometimes the chips just fall. How they fall, and there's nothing we can do. Preach, Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Still taste the blood of your fallen enemies? You need oral fresh. Buy it now. Oh, and then this is where I started coming in. This comment is still gold. I appreciate your concern, but shut the fuck up, girl.
Right?
Is it racist to call them underdogs? Oh my god, that's clever. I like that. I might have to use that at some point.
Yes.
I might have to. So I'll tell you what is like a slur among the canines is calling another one canine to another, calling them a mutt is like it's like calling a black person the N-word to them. Yeah. It's like insanely derogative. They can see your stats? That's hardly fair. Wait, what do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Christ, somebody needs a... Yes, I do. It's those fucking allergy meds, man. They make my throat drier than the Sahara.
I think he was talking about the Dark One's voice.
Oh, yeah. He was like, no, I'm talking about Edge Lordington's voice. Just to dodge the enemy so they run themselves into something maneuver. Yes, he did. Shouldn't there be tons of butt sniffing if these characters are killing?
Oh my god.
Copious amounts of... Okay, listen, sir. We haven't gotten there yet.
That's in book 3.
Right? That should have been... Is a carapace in the ass. Why didn't I think of that? Fuck! When I go back and I edit the book, when I do the second edition, let me tell you, I didn't think I was ever going to do a second edition. I thought I'd found all the bullshit, but I don't know how. There's still so much bullshit in here that was supposed to get fixed. So yeah. I might have to use that. Mason. I might steal that from you.
Mason. It's like Matt is the racist, bro.
And I'm not going to give you shit about how you spelled carapace. You did your best.
Yeah. He's like, how dare I misspell a name that's only been phonetically read to me by a robot?
Well, I mean, but a very sexy humanoid robot, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was making reference to his previous comment.
Calling lichens. I know, Caitlin. Underdogs, that might be racist. Utter blackness, welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? just don't reheat the fish in the microwave.
Yeah, exactly.
Not sure if I'm a whale's belly or surrounded by... Not sure if I'm in a whale's belly or surrounded by ladies. What the fuck?
What's
that? Dude, they're protecting her because her ribs are busted, okay? Okay, there's no misogyny here. Except where it shows up later.
Where there is.
I know it's because... Ableist. I wish I knew what he was talking about with that comment. There should be a Matt, that because you've been double F'd by double A.
I love it.
That butt stuffer. I hate that guy.
Oh my god.
I every time I get to make Arian suffer, I'm just like, yeah, take that. Just like, type it.
I am so ready for him to get his comeuppance.
Oh yeah.
Like, from the first time he arrived on page, I was like, this guy's gonna die a horrible death.
And he is.
I hope so.
He is.
Sorry,
Sorry, Bob. Arian's not going to enjoy what happens to him, let me tell you. Oh, golly.
Oh, golly. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so that's chapter 6, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Just before I end the stream, I got to tell you guys when we're going to be moving it to. We're going to be changing days and going a little bit earlier in the morning. So let me pull up when that's going to be really quick. Caitlin, do something silly to entertain them while I look this up.
Silly. Okay. I could just be myself.
I guess.
That is sometimes very silly. Or
look at me go.
Look at me go. I am a silly McSilly person.
I am Silly McJoe.
I am Silly McJoe.
I am the silly.
I am. I promise. I'm not gay.
I'm not gay.
I'm not.
Oh my god.
That's the default. That'll be quick. Do something silly. Stall them. I'm not
Stall
gay.
them. Talk about how you're not gay. Okay, yep, it's Tuesday. So, lives are going to be henceforth for this Tuesday at 8 a.m. because the algorithm hates me, and that's when all of you are online to watch. So,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it'll probably be a lot better for Mason too, because he's you're 6 hours ahead of us, darling?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Mr. Landis, good to see you aboard, brother. How you been doing? We need you to be at the stream this weekend. You need to check in with your goal. So be on the Saturday show, Mr. Landis. You weren't there last time. Naughty boy.
So we will have to check in and see where you are on your goals.
We will have to admonish him.
Yes.
Admonish. But no, seriously though, that's the whole shebang. Again, Tuesdays, 8 a.m. I'm going to schedule the next stream, get that set up so you guys can share it around and do all these things. Of course, you can share the playlist with all your friends who like fantasy and werewolves and killing things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Garden. 1.5K for book 2.
That's right.
Peace out.
Dun, dun, dun.